record this. So boom, as always, I'm going to record this, put this on YouTube afterwards. What's up, bro? Put this on YouTube afterwards. Nick's going to hop in a second and he'll contribute, to what we're doing as well. I think he's actually in here now. Boom. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to just post in the chat. And yeah, I'm pretty much just going to get started here. I'm going to start with DXY. Nick's going to go over it again. We're going to start all the way up on the weekly time frame. And I'll start off with just doing some top-down analysis. So all the way up on the monthly with DXY, the momentum, the bearish momentum here has been crazy. Now, from this level all the way up here, we have this huge wick, 3 consecutive large wicks, rejecting this demand zone or the supply zone all the way up here. And we're starting to turn over, got the cross the moving averages, obviously, a lot of volume right now, a ton of bearish volume kicking in. So as we go down to the weekly time frame, when we were looking at this, we were looking at some higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low made right here, and then came up, made this new high, and ultimately that's where we found all of these sellers, bearish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle here. Do you know? Bearish engulfing candle here, bearish variation here, and then we just started to fall off. We've been maintaining this bearish bias for quite some time, so all the way down to the daily time frame, ever since this broke. So ever since this broke support, pulled back, found resistance, we've been bearish on DXY all the way down now to the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour time frame was bearish, came up, made this new high, and then inevitably we started to just break this level and started to form all these lower lows and lower highs. And this has just been maintained all the way now down to this area where price has finally broken our monthly level of support. We talked about this yesterday. And now we're just falling to levels that have not been tested ever since all the way down here. We haven't tested this level since January of 2019. So obviously it's been a year since that's been tested, and then October 2018. So, we're coming to levels that we haven't seen before, and we got to be patient because overall, this is just still very bearish, very bearish at the moment, continuing to fall. So let's keep that in mind as we go to these other pairs. So let's go to GU. Let's go all the way up to the monthly time frame. Boom. So on the monthly time frame, we've got this huge wick and then a lot of indecision candles, and we've got this pullback right here. This a lot of buying pressure coming in at the moment. So we got this monthly level, key level that this is ultimately retesting. But let's go down to the weekly time frame, start to look at structure a little bit more. We've got this break of support here, this retest of this lower high right here, and then now at the moment, what are we finding? I was looking at something similar to this to be happening, where we had this rejection and then shot up, found some buyers. That's basically what's happening. I mean, we're still at this monthly key level right now, but we go down to the daily time frame. Ever since this high was formed right here, boom. Ever since this high was formed right here, we were in a bullish trend all the way down on this daily time frame, and we made this higher low right here at this 78.6 level. And now at this point, we're back up. We're retesting this high as we come down to the 4-hour time frame, and we start to look at structure. We have these lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That was broken, formed this new high. Just gonna take this off, delete this, take this off, take that off, boom. So on this 4-hour time frame, let's just look at structure. We had this higher high form, pull back, moving averages cross, made this higher low, double bottomed here, and then we shot up to this new level. So pretty much all we're waiting for now is we need to get in on the next higher low. We need to get in on the next higher low area. I'm going to go down to the lower time frame. We're coming back, retesting this monthly support level right now. Looking at this 30-minute, looking at structure right now, we need a lot more to happen to look for some sort of buy opportunity. We need some consolidation here, bumping up to the 1 hour. Yeah, like we need basically, these are red over blue right now. We need some sort of consolidation, and then we're going to need to move higher in order to take some sort of buy opportunity right now on this. And again, this correlates with DXY. As DXY falls, I'm looking for GU to continue higher and then back up to this daily time frame. Obviously we're retesting this high right now. The next level that I'm going to look for this to push to is all the way up here. This is like a daily key level based on resistance, 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 support, support. So we're going to look for price to continue up to that level if it does. And on the flip side, when it comes to 1 hour and 30-minute structure, really we're going to need some consolidation here. To consider shorts, we're going to need to break below this level. We're going to break below, retest, but right now that's not looking likely. So we're going to try to just maintain this into a buying opportunity. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on GU. We got EU, which I guess on our session yesterday, this was pretty much the thinking with EU, was that it was going to retest and, obviously head higher. We've got nice opportunity here from yesterday. So up on this daily time, let's go all the way up to the monthly time frame. So again, just doing top-down analysis on this. Monthly time frame had been bullish, came down, much like DXY, started to find a lot of wicks, and then had this cross, and now a ton of buyers are stepping into the market. Down to the weekly time frame, structure had been bearish, lower lows, lower high, had a retest, and then broke, retested, and then all this down to the daily time frame, or this is a break of structure. Daily was bullish, and then all the way down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour has been bullish and just steady trending for quite some time here. We got higher highs, higher low, came up, higher low, higher high, little double bottom here for that higher low, and then came up, another higher low formed. So these are all potential entry opportunities on EU. We've got one there, we've got one here, and inevitably this final entry opportunity right there. So for us, entry opportunities are when price falls below these moving averages. In this case, in an uptrend, when price falls below and then finds support, does a bullish engulfing, bullish variation through the moving average, and then we could put stops. All these trades, we would have been able to put stops right below this level. This is a nice higher low that formed. And then, inevitably this trade would have been up, about 3 to 1. Originally, we would have targeted right around 2 to 1 and decided what to do, in that area. But those are all entry opportunities. At the moment, this thing's flying. Had marked this line yesterday. That's where we thought we were going to be retesting. Now, as we bump back up to the weekly time frame, try to get an idea, where is this thing going to pause a little bit. Looks like it's going to hit a little bit of a zone here. This is a little bit of a weekly zone based on support, and then resistance. So it's about to hit a zone right now. Inevitably the next level that this thing could get to is up at our weekly level, up here. So this thing's either going to blow past, pull back, find support here and go higher, or it's going to reject here and get a little bit, get a little lower. But the point is, right now, there's no opportunity to do anything. There's no opportunity to buy, there's no opportunity to sell at the moment. We got to just be on the sidelines and be patient. So let's go over now to USD CAD. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. Overall, in the weekly time frame, made this high, pulled back, had the moving average cross, just like that. And even though we're in an uptrend on this weekly time frame, this huge bearish engulfing caused me to look at this monthly level and say, okay, we could potentially sell off from there. As I came down to the daily time frame, this is pretty much what we're seeing. Daily time frame, very bearish, pulled back, made this lower high, you know, bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing there. So structure, obviously very bearish. And then 4-hour time frame, a little bit of a consolidation zone. But basically, we started to break lower, form these lower lows, lower low, lower high, lower low, retested this lower high right here, retest this lower low. And then I was just down on the 1 hour. The 1 hours, sort of where you see this thing trending a little bit more. And so on the 1 hour time frame, ever since this broke, we had the break, retest. We went over this yesterday. 2 potential entries, at least on this 1 hour time frame. You know, one was here, and then down to the 30-minute, one was there. And now we're just continuing lower. I mean, we were looking to get a pullback to this zone. Obviously, we did get a pullback right now. If we were to have short on the actual entry right there, stops would have been right above that level. We would have been up around 20 pips. The next level that we're looking to get to is we're looking to get really back to these lows. We're looking to get back to these lows right here. Boom. So we'll see how UCAD plays out if this thing just continues to fly lower or if we get some sort of another entry opportunity. I will keep you guys updated on that. And then let's go to NU. So NU is the trade that I've been following the closest this week. You know, last week we were talking about, we had our trend line, or the last couple weeks, we had our trend line in here. Boom. And we were looking for selling opportunities like right at this level. Obviously that broke. So we took that off. And then earlier this week, we were saying, okay, we're trying to get back into an area where there's sellers in the market. This is overall a downtrend, lower lows, lower high, lower low. Overall a downtrend, definitely. This is a supply zone up here that we're now coming up to retest. You know, down to all the way down to the daily time frame, we're bullish. So daily time frame is bullish. 4-hour time frame broke to be a little bit bearish, and then it broke higher, made this higher high, pulled back, made this higher low, and then made another higher low. So basically, the entry opportunity on this was all the way down here. Once all of this started to happen, 30-minute was bearish as we were forming lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we broke, formed a higher high, and this was really the entry. You know, the beginning of this week, this first candle is what I had entered on right here. Boom. And then we had another entry opportunity pretty much right here with this pullback. And then another opportunity right here with this. So originally I had entered on this. I kind of squeezed price a little bit. We went up around 1 to 1. I freaking moved stops to 0. And I got stopped out right before it went up a million pips, which is not cool. But that's, you know, that's just part of the game here. Gotta live and learn. But obviously, NU has made its way back to this previous level. You know, if we look, this trade is up literally 4.3% or 4.3 risk reward. You know, this was a massive, massive trade. So yeah, I got to be patient now. I'm not trying to short at the first opportunity, but we are back into this demand zone, you know, on the weekly time frame. Originally, I was trying to sell at this area. Now I will most likely try to sell at this area, but we need to wait for at least a 1-hour break of structure. So everything right now is very overextended, and you know, I'm not going to be looking to really take any sort of sell opportunities right now. USEF, we were talking about yesterday. You know, we had this little prediction drawn. This thing finally headed lower. all the way up on the weekly time frame. We're in a downtrend for a minute. As I cycle down time frames, daily time frame bearish, red over blue. And you got 4-hour time frame bearish, forming lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. We talked about this. We talked about this same pullback that happened here, where we broke 4-hour structure, but still maintained daily structure. And what I'm talking about is we broke this level, much similar to this area where we broke this level right here. Take this off, take that off. So we were talking about, okay, potential selling opportunity. What happened was we had this little break, pullback. This would have been the prime entry opportunity right there. Thing fell. And then again, we just continued, maintain this little trend line here, just forming lower highs, and then inevitably broke. So this was actually like a descending triangle that was going on right there. So this thing continued, finally headed lower. And, now at this point, you got to see, is price going to continue to go lower, or are we going to get some sort of pullback now? This would be fairly aggressive to enter right now, had this pullback. I'm going to wait for more consolidation, for more price action to kind of form before getting in on this. It's very similar to, per se, this first pullback, like all the way up here. Like if I were to enter on this, stops above this area, price consolidated for another day before falling, inevitably. So right now, if I entered, I could be in drawdown, or I could be in this position for a few days right now. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to see if we get some sort of pullback and then try to get on this again. So the market really just moved a lot. Unfortunately, I wasn't personally looking for trades that much the last couple of days, but the moves were there. The moves were definitely there. And, we got to continue to look for just, follow the rules, continue to be active. And, that's pretty much it. So we'll keep updating in the chats, in the premium signals or premium analysis. We'll keep updating in there. And then I'm going to pass it over to Nick, and he's going to get into some more pairs here.
Definitely. So that was good. Just to reiterate, guys, he did most of the majors. And if you noticed, most of the pairs that he just covered have moved quite a bit. And this is directly because, DXY has been tanking. So again, let me just share here. All right, so we're going to start off on DXY again. Just do a quick recap. Just a quick recap again. It's the U.S. dollar makes up for 80% of all trade. So it's good to stop in and kind of see what's going on with the intraday trends on the 4-hour daily trend, and kind of see how it's affecting the rest of the market. So again, as we've seen, we saw this huge drop off in DXY, and you'll notice a lot of major pairs have moved. All USD pairs have moved pretty dramatically. So let's go ahead, just do a quick drop down. I'm just going to go to the daily time frame. I want to bring your attention to a couple key areas. So we can clearly see this is bullish, right? Very strong bullish trend. And in order to change this daily trend, you want to see a transition of this monthly zone. Okay, so basically, it's clearly bearish. It's looking like it has the momentum to break this area, but we want to see a little bit of a push lower, and then some sort of retracement to the zone, looking for lower highs anywhere below this monthly to confirm a continuous bearish trend on this daily time frame. So it's looking super, super bearish. Let's drop to the 4-hour for a second. So again, here's that big drop off, right? Consolidation in the form of a pattern, ascending triangle. Got a nice double top off structure here, as well as this 200 EMA, and then it pushed lower, gave us this bearish channel, and then we've just haven't looked back since. We broke 1926, retested, and then dropped, and this thing's just been flying like this. Just to give you guys an idea, it's dropped the value of the dollar has dropped 1.3% in the last day or two. So that's an interesting, very, very interesting stat right there. But with that being said, with this in mind, we know that we're clearly bearish. Huge bearish trend on the DXY, and we're looking to get to new lows. So with that in mind, we can move on to other pairs, consider that in our analysis. All right, so here we are on AU. Let's go to the daily time frame for a second. So we can see that DXY is kind of breaking to new lows, breaking into lower ranges. We're noticing that on a lot of major pairs. So AU specifically, we're at this key monthly resistance, right? This was that level where it kind of changes the daily trend. We can clearly see that we're super bearish, right? Our last lower high was at this monthly on this time frame drop due to Corona news, came back in the form of a very strong 4-hour bullish rally, came back to this monthly, consolidated, and now we're pushing through that monthly again. So let's drop to the 4-hour. So this is that zone, that monthly. We just broke through it, right? Here was that first rally to the monthly, double top, came down, and then gave us this kind of broad ascending channel here. And then we got ranging, tons of ranging right here, indecision in the market, and then it finally broke this range, came back, retested, gave us a confirmed higher low, and then took off and surged right through this monthly. So again, as Angelo said and showed on a few of his pairs, there's not really an entry opportunity here yet. We need to wait. We need to be patient. We need to see some sort of consolidation. Naturally, we want to see some sort of retest, some sort of pullback, structure formation. Look for that M8 cross followed by strong bullish setups, and then we could target towards significant resistance into the new range. So let's just get a quick fib, kind of get an idea of where price action could pull back to. Let's say it reverses now, right? 38.2 is right here. This is a key level we want to see hit, 38.2 or 61.8, which is down here, pretty much in the dead middle of this monthly zone. So any sort of pullback like that would be ideal. Then we can consider long opportunities. But again, we need to see we need to see this momentum die off, right? You can't just enter into a trade and, because your stop loss would be absolutely insane. Like, let's say you can't just buy into a trend. You need to get in on a higher low. You can't just buy at the high here. Because look, your stop loss is 200 pips. You need to target at least 400 to make this, worthy trade, essentially risk-worthy trade. So definitely got to wait. Definitely got to wait. So let's go to the daily again for a second. Just kind of see what's going on. We want to see a retest, and then again, we're going to target towards significant zones. First being, 74, 0.74, 0.73, nice whole numbers, nice, lower time frame and, daily resistance levels. So this weekly being our max. But yeah, we got to wait. This definitely has potential to keep going with this trend, especially if DXY keeps going, keeps falling rather. So something to be aware of. But we did an analysis on AU yesterday and then also over the weekend. We were just looking for any buy opportunity on a break and retest of this range. And that's actually exactly what we saw. And it kind of just took off. Kind of just surged higher. So your entries would have been, again, here's your break of resistance, right? Came back down, pull back through the MAs, and then we start getting these higher lows. So after these higher lows form, you can start looking for entries. This actually would have been one here. One entry there, right? After it pulled back through the MAs, confirmed this higher low, got a nice bullish variation going back through the MAs and this zone itself at 0.699. So this would have been good entry. Stop loss would have been outside these higher lows. That's one entry there, and another one probably would have been in this area. So one there you could have done, or even here on this more confirmed a higher low above this support. So this would have been a good trade. Again, let's say you entered here, targeting towards the monthly itself, 80 pips, risking about 40, 2-to-1 risk reward. Really great trade. I'll take that 10 out of 10 times. So clearly it, went way past this monthly zone. If you did manage it, you would have been up 4.26 to 1. So really great trade, guys. Good movement there. Definitely a trade opportunity on that one. So we're gonna have to wait going forward. Okay. So that's AU. Let's move over to AJ. Very, very similar, guys. AU and AJ always look very similar. Lots of bullish movement on both these pairs this morning. So let's go ahead and jump to the daily. Do exactly what we did to AU. Kind of identify the overall trend. Super bearish. We can clearly see this monthly zone as kind of the deciding factor for this daily trend. Whether we get continuation. If we saw rejection at the monthly, that would be hinting at a continuation of this daily bearish trend. But if we see a break of this monthly, now it's looking like a daily, transition to the bulls from a bearish sentiment to a bullish sentiment. So this zone is kind of, the tell-all got to wait for this to kind of make its move, and then we can get a better gauge of where price action is going to go more long term. And then we'll just jump in that trend and look for opportunities. So clearly bearish, right? This was that prior lower high at that monthly. Price action dropped, retraced all the way back to that zone, meeting the prior lower high, dropped, and then can continue to continue with this 4-hour trend back to this monthly. So again, where we're at now is kind of going to determine where this pair is going. So let's zoom out on let's go to the 4-hour and then zoom out. Huge bullish trend, as you can see, right? Higher lows, higher highs, right? Surge, price action surge all the way into our monthly, which is that key zone we just talked about. Gave us a nice head and shoulders pattern, dropped to the top trend line of that bearish channel, and then started printing a 4-hour, bullish trend here. Nice higher lows, good structure formation. We were actually looking for entries on a break of 75 flat. So we were looking for entries all in here. You could even see, even on this time frame, there's entry opportunities. This bullish engulfing here. So we're looking for entries in this area. Preferably on a, retest on the back end of a candle in the form of exhaustion, anything like that. Some sort of retest would have been nice before it took off, but it kind of just surged higher. So this would have been what this trade opportunity would have looked like. Right, would have targeted towards 76 flat, roughly 40 pips stop loss, 45 pips would have been 90, something like that, right? 2-to-1 risk reward, however way you would have cut it. Definitely a really great trade opportunity, especially after this volume stepped in. It kind of just took off and never looked back. So currently you'd be up 158 pips, almost a 3-to-1 risk reward. So again, another great trade opportunity there, right? But yeah, from this level, you're not going to take a trade just on this breakout. You either want to see momentum continue higher, something like this. I'm just going to draw it because the brush tool is better. Something like that, and then a pullback. If you want to see something like that, we want to see some sort of structure formation, some sort of pullback, some sort of retracement at a major level. So this monthly being that major level. So until we see that, we can't really make, a really great trade with good risk management. So we're gonna have to wait on this one again, but not a problem. We're gonna wait for it, get in a good opportunity, kind of just play it as we see it. All right, we got some questions. Let me just see. GCAD, not looking at GCAD. We'll post some analysis in Discord. No worries. What about gold? We'll get to gold in a second. Yes, they do share an inverse relationship. So as DXY appreciates, gold will appreciate, and so on. Gold's been running. Yeah, I'll cover that in a second. 1900 next week, potentially below. It doesn't make sense to trade US 30 right now. If you're used to trading it, sure. You have to check out the fundamentals. 1900 in the next week is totally possible, especially with cases increasing. So yeah, it's definitely possible to get there for 1900 on gold, but we'll cover that in a second. We'll get to it. All right. So that's AJ. Next, I'm gonna cover UJ. All right. This one's actually setting up to be a nice trade. Let's zoom out for a second, get an idea of the daily trend. Super bearish, huge descending triangle, right? Kind of just squeezing price action, getting more and more narrow as we get progress through this pattern. So you can see clearly on the daily that we've had some ranging between 109, 250 and 106, ranging, lots and lots of bouncing. But again, this is a big ass range, so you can play some, you can get some trades out of this range if you just know what you're looking at. So here's that range again. I think it's like a 350 pip range, thereabout. So huge range, but overall, the overall time frame and overall sentiment is very, very bearish. So we're going to favor, bearish trades first, especially knowing that DXY is super bearish, UJ, this being a major, USD first. We're definitely looking short first. Okay, so again, here's that huge range. We got some lower highs in this area. This was actually a descending triangle. This was a descending triangle pattern. Right there, you can see it, right? Smaller one, lower highs, clear support. It finally broke. Went at the 107.35 handle. Finally broke and then tested 3 times. So this is like a new range. It's like a new mini range right here. So clearly it's bouncing. There's a lot happening. Supply zone, demand zone just keeps bouncing, waiting for some sort of clear break. So we actually have an entry opportunity here. This blue zone is a lower time frame structure that was broken. right? These are higher lows in a lower time frame. Price action broke right through it, right? So kind of hinting at a transition into, a bearish trend, breaking this range. We're looking for 4-hour bearish movement. So any sort of pullback to this zone, which is broken structure, followed by bearish setups, strong bearish setups, pushing back through the MAs, bearish engulfings, bearish variations, and so on, would be enough to enter on, right? So you want to enter anywhere in this area on this lower high, looking to target lower. And that kind of fits every indication as to what we've been looking at as far as price action goes, as far as the sentiment on DXY, just general technicals. This is looking bearish by all means. So this is what this trade would look like, right? We're targeting towards the low first. Again, that's looking like your stop loss would have to be about here to be 2 to 1, 20 pips to get 40, but we're looking for more of the larger move. So looking to get about 110 pips, and your stop loss could be well protected at 50 plus pips above these lower highs. Okay, so this could be a really great trade. Again, I'll put this out in premium analysis for you guys. But yeah, this is looking pretty clear, pretty clear. Any sort of rejection, confirmed lower high in here, that's when we'll be shorting. Okay, so that's UJ. And it's very likely we'll get there too, because DXY is, the momentum is just pumping right now. Look, we just broke 94. It's a new low. Nice. Looking good. All right, so that's UJ. Let's get over to EJ. This thing is just rocketing. But anyway, let's go to the daily for a second. Get a better idea of the overall trend. Bearish, huge bearish channel, as you can see. The most significant level for current price action is 123.5. That's where we had this lower high. This was that major break of support. So we kind of highlighted this zone where if we break this zone, we know for a fact that we're targeting towards the next key resistance, which would be around our monthly at 126, 127 handle. So if this zone breaks, guys, there's really no ceiling for this other than lower time frame zones. So yeah, let's drop to the 4-hour for a second. Huge bullish trend. Very strong bullish trend. Here was that rally up to this major resistance level. Got pretty good rejection, came back down, found a low at 119.5, which was also the upper trend line of this daily descending channel. And then we got a little bit of a transition here, our first higher low, continuation of this bullish trend. And then we're breaking through resistance at 122, retesting, continuing higher, forming lots of higher lows, little ascending triangle, it finally broke, and then presented an entry opportunity. So here is that ascending triangle right here, as you can see. And basically any sort of entry would be on a break and retest. So this is the break, this is the retest. And then first thing we can spot on this is a nice bullish engulfing, a morning star rather. So it pulls back through the MAs, forms structure, comes back, and shows us that it's going to continue higher because we're getting these bullish setups. So nice morning star, another morning star here, another morning star here. So this would have been an entry, 1 and 2. Okay, that would have been your entry. Stop loss would have been outside your prior higher low, and we would have targeted back up towards significant levels, resistance levels around 123.6, which would have been 2 to 1 risk reward, and clearly it went much higher. Would be about 110 pips, about almost 3 to 1 risk reward. So this was a really great trade, great opportunity there. Right, we're just following price action, following what these, what the overall trend is, what these patterns are, and looking for entries at higher lows and buy opportunities in this particular scenario. So this thing was looking really good. Gave us a couple entries, but you had to be quick because the volume stepped in and kind of just took price action and ran with it. So from the current level, where can we enter into a trade, right? That's like the main question. What do we do now? So we got to wait. We have to wait and see if we're going to get something like this. We're going to see something like this happen again, where it's like a nice rejection, a nice transition from bulls to bears. You can see tons of exhaustion, and then it dropped. Or this momentum is going to keep up, give us some sort of retracement either late week or early next week, and give us some sort of retracement opportunity to then enter on. Because again, you want to see consolidation, you want to see highs form, you want to see lows form, you want to see structure form. We got to wait to get a better into a better trade opportunity, right? Because we want the whole thing is to keep your risk management on point. And if you're just taking breakaway trades, you're kind of killing that whole strategy. So we got to waiting for the high probability setups to present themselves. And normally you have to wait after a huge move like that, because you can see on most of these pairs, they've moved quite a bit. You know, huge rally there, huge drop off here, huge rally here, you know, huge rally here again. So you got to wait after you get a large move. The market has to take a breather, consolidate, form patterns, form structure, and then you'll be looking for new entry opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to cover gold as kind of a finisher. First thing we're going to do, go to the daily. Super bullish, super bullish, guys. Nothing here says bearish pressure whatsoever. Breaking resistance, forming new support, higher lows consecutively. It's just everything about this is bullish. So let's just drop straight to the 4-hour. We were actually looking for an entry opportunity on this after we saw this break. So we saw this break of 1800, huge milestone, big level. We saw this box pattern form. So ideally, we wanted to see a pullback, right? We wanted to see a pullback to this zone, which is the 38.2. This zone down here, 61.8 at 1760. So this would have been really nice to see. A nice sweeping pattern, pulls back, gives us a confirmed higher low, looking to enter on bullish setups. But clearly that did not happen. As DXY kept pushing lower, you know, gold pushed up. So this is the relationship that they share. As the US dollar gets weaker, you'll see gold start to appreciate more and more. And that's exactly what we saw. This thing rallied literally from like 1800 to 1850 or 1860. So 600 pips, which is insane for, you know, 4 days in a week. So this would have been some good pips, good profit if any of you guys caught that. But from this point, again, you know, we want to wait. We got to wait for some sort of fib level to be hit, structure level to be hit. Let's go to the daily for a second and kind of remap this fib. Okay. Remap the fib from here to here. Let's see. 38.2. We'll get it on the conviction candle, so low to high. Right, 38.2 there. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go over both scenarios here for a second. Okay, so this is the real one. I like this one better. So again, I'm forming from this low here to this high. This is where structure was formed after a break of this resistance. Low to the high. Let's drop to the 4-hour for a second. Kind of see where these fibs line up. So now naturally these lines have moved, right? So naturally, this is not the 61.8 anymore. This is not the 38.2 anymore because we've got another push higher. So from the current level, we want to see this. We want to see any sort of pullback to form structure. Now we have a nice confluence area right at our weekly. Notice the 38.2 is right there. And then the 61.8 also at a very key confluence area. Major support over here as well in the lower time frame, right at 1800. So also a nice psychological level. So currently, if we do see this pullback, we're looking for either of these levels to hit. Boom. And boom. Either one of those levels to be hit. And then we're going to target higher based on psychological levels as well as key fibs. So look where we find ourselves, right at 1900 at the negative 27 fib level, which should be our first target. Okay, so take a look at that. That looks pretty good to me. I've seen this pattern play out a million times where it just forms a new high, 0%, comes back for a nice retest, and then confirms that higher low in the form of bullish setups, in which case we'll be entering. And I'll be making you guys aware in premium analysis again. As these trades get close to execution, guys, this is where we post them. Come over to premium analysis, kind of just highlight these. I'll show you guys on the lower time frame. This is all lower time frame analysis. It's a premium service. This is all 1 hour and under, letting you know right before we're about to take a trade. So this is like literally 2-3 confirmations in. We're literally one step away from taking the trade itself. And that's what this whole channel is for. Okay, so let me show you an example real quick. Let's go over EJ. This was EJ posted. What time frame was that? This was a 4-hour. Okay, so this is that where this trade was right here. So I screenshotted this exact chart right here, posted it, letting you guys know there's a potential long opportunity on any higher lows and confirmation above this pattern. And then we obviously know what happened. It shot straight up, gave us an entry opportunity right there. So that's pretty much one way you could use the premium analysis. So there it was, clear as day, gave you everything you needed, and the trade took off. I'll even show you one more. This is AUD USD. Oops, that's not AU. That's AU. Okay. So here it was. We're looking for a break of 0.699. Here it was. This break right here. That's what these highlighted zones in yellow were exactly where price action was when I put that analysis out. And then clearly it skyrocketed, as we can see. Right? Clear as day. Rocketed straight to the monthlies, negative 61, 0.708. Went straight to that level. And then beyond, clearly. And then one more, we just covered AJ. So looking for that break of 75 flat, continuation higher. And there it is, break of 75 flat, continuation higher. Literally followed that arrow pretty much exactly. All right, guys, so just wanted to show you that, show you what the premium analysis is all about. And quick recap from me, I covered DXY. This thing is still pushing, good Lord. AUD, USD, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. My favorite pick for today would definitely be a setup on UJ. Looking for that kind of to play out. Okay. Angelo, anything you want to add? All right. So, guys, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good this week again. Everything will be posted in premium analysis. If you guys have any questions, now is definitely the time to ask. Can you analyze US 30? I'll tell you what. I'll do an analysis on US 30 and put it in Discord. I'm not going to cover it right here. I could pull up a chart though. I want to see what Tesla's at right now too.
I'm on mute here. So just to reiterate for you guys right now, we are having the sale on lifetime membership. Only 9 spots are left now. If you guys want in, everything pictured here is going to be included. This image is a little blurry, but we've got, our full course, premium signals, one-on-one training, trading plan, our private chat, fundamental updates, live sessions, our trading library. So we've got a bunch of books in there, weekly webinars. If you guys are interested, there's only 9 spots left. So just shoot me a message after this. If you want more information on, what's going on in there, then again, just shoot us a message after this. Tomorrow we'll be on at the same time, 7:30 a.m. EST. And as always, if you guys want any additional analysis or have any questions, like you're doing in the chat today, just feel free to shoot me a message and we'll get back to you pretty much as soon as we can.
Absolutely, guys. So we will see you tomorrow, same time, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.